My name is Katie. I'm a reference librarian at the Worcester branch of the Wayne County Public Library. Earlier this month, I did an introduction to Canva demonstration, but I know not everyone was able to join us. And so I've put together a video series that goes over some of the many ways you can use Canva. Canva is the website that we are looking at right now. Now, this is my third video in this series. Our previous videos, we went over how to use a template, which is a pre-made design that Canva provides. And then we have also gone over how to start from a blank canvas, like what we're looking at right now. And today, though, rather than going through how to create a project, I thought I would just share some Canva tips and tricks that I didn't previously cover. So rather than going, step by step, I'm just going to show you some of the things that you can do. And so to start off, I've got my blank canvas. I'm going to show you how to make something transparent. Perhaps you are showcasing images from a road trip you recently went on. Well, I've selected a background. It is a map. So that's kind of cool, but perhaps let's put some words over top. Photos from our road trip. Maybe I want it to look something like this. And I'm looking at this and I think, is this going to be too hard for somebody to read when I have, in this case, these cities and these stops along this highway? So what I can do is I have selected the background image, and you can tell by this kind of teal line that's surrounding it. And now up here along our top, we have this image. It's an option. It says transparency when I put my mouse over it, and it's got like the dark pixels that kind of fade to the light pixels. So if I select that, I can make this darker. I can make this lighter to the point where, there's no longer even a photo. So let's put that about 67%. So that is one thing you can do, is that you can fade items. And not only can you fade, like a background photo like I did. Here is a square. Maybe I actually want this to kind of even showcase the words even more. I've sent it backwards behind the words, and now I can actually make that box transparent as well, which gives you this kind of cool effect where you have this extra level of shading. I can still see my background image behind the square in this case, but I have that like extra layer between the words and my initial image. So that's how to use transparency. That's one of our tips and tricks for today. All right. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how to group items now. So grouping is something you might want to do to keep things together. It's going to make things easier. I have selected this font, and it's kind of cowboy-y. So, let's pretend like I'm having a cowboy. Let's make it say calling all cowboys and cowgirls. And, this is fine on its own, but wouldn't it be fun if we had like a little cowboy hat on top of the C for calling? So I'm going to go into elements. I'm going to search for a cowboy hat. And I promise I know how to spell cowboy hat. Pick one that is not only free, but kind of fits what I'm looking for. And what I can do is, we're going to shrink it. We're going to place it kind of where I would want it. And in this case, I'm going to have to position it forward so it's over the letter. And now what I can do is I can select both of these things by holding down my mouse, kind of like you would highlight things. I'm now highlighting both. You can tell because I've got that teal line around both. And I can select this up here along the top that says group. And now this will allow me to move this around without having to move each piece individually. Now, if I decide, oh, you know, I kind of want this to be jaunty, I can ungroup. Let's make it a little jaunty, a little askew, reposition. And again, we're going to highlight everything and group. And there we go. And that's really cute. So that's something you can do. You can do this with multiple items. For example, I don't know. Here is a dragon. Let's give the dragon a cowboy hat. The same thing. We just position kind of on top of each other, highlight, group. And now it's its own fixed thing. So that is how we group things together and ungroup them. Another thing we can do is flipping. So let's grab some cats. I love kitties. So maybe I want these two cats flanking either side of my design, but right now they're facing the exact same way. Real easy, select one of them, and then up here along the top, again, you know, we went over how we can change the cat's colors, but we can also go to flip, and I can flip her the other way. And if I wanted to, I could flip her upside down. So, you know, maybe we want them in both corners. And that's how we flip. So that's pretty simple, and it's something I use a lot. While we're doing this, another thing I kind of showed you already, we have these arrows that are into a circle shape. We can also change the degree if we ever want to as well, that they are appearing as. So that's those things, changing angles, and that's how to flip items or flip your elements. Another thing we can do is we can crop. So I'm going to search for a dragon. This is actually something I've done before. And, you know, this dragon is really cool, but maybe really all I want is the dragon tail. And so Canva makes it really easy. There are two ways to crop around our teal box that shows that we have highlighted this image. You can see these darker white spots that are centered on each of the sides. Those allow you to crop. I can just drag as needed, but then I can also come up here. Crop is one of your items across the top. And this is how I can crop kind of in any way I want. So maybe I just think it would be fun to have a tail coming up out of the bottom of my my flyer. Maybe I'm having, like a Chinese New Year get together, and wouldn't that be cool to just have like a dragon tail coming out, but not necessarily the rest of the body? Or conversely, here's our tail. Let's maybe have our head coming down from the top. So that gives you a couple extra options if you ever need to crop something. I also want to show you how to center items. Now, this is something that I do a lot when I want banners. Now, you can certainly search for banners within your elements. We have this kind, but then maybe I also have like a flower banner. And some of these, I'm going to be honest, sometimes they want you to pay for them, like this right here. But I can create that pretty easily on my own. So let's search for flowers. And all right, let's find some cute ones. Here we go. So I've got this. Let's kind of create our own custom one. All right. So perhaps I want to make a banner that consists of these two flowers in a repeating pattern. Well, one thing I can do, we're highlighting. Remember how we grouped them before? Well, instead of doing that, I am going to highlight and then hit Control-C on my keyboard. If you are using the app, duplicate is one of the options you'll have. But Control-C is what you use to do a copy on most PCs. So I did a Control-C, and now I'm going to do a Control-V, and I've duplicated. And, you know, we've talked about how we get these cool pink lines that show you that things are lined up. But you'll notice that I have, you know, kind of a gap over here. And so how can I make sure that these are all actually spaced out evenly? Well, again, we're going to highlight. And next to group, which we've already talked about, one of the options is position. And we can click tidy up. And you'll notice that now they're evenly spaced. So that's kind of something that we can do that's neat. That in programs like Photoshop is actually a little bit more difficult. And, you know, we can do that again with other items as well, including going the other way. So we can tidy up going up and down, or we can also click on position, and you'll notice you do have other options as well to center it within the center, in the corners, and so on. Let's see. And let's ungroup. Didn't mean to hit that. Position. In this case, I'm going to hit horizontally and then tidy up. And voila, now they're in order. So this is actually something that I didn't even realize Canva did until like a month ago. And it would have saved me so much time trying to make sure I had everything lined up when I could have just been telling Canva to do it for me. All righty. Another thing I want to show you how to do, I'm going to delete our flowers, is upload. So uploads are great if you want to upload any of your own material. So if I click upload media, you'll notice I have quite a few, in this case, videos that we've done. It just happens to be here. We have some downloads, but you know, maybe I've saved a photograph of myself, and I know I have one here. The other things you're seeing over here are other things that I've uploaded that were freely available online. All right, here's a picture of my cat. Her name is Renette. So that is something you know that I selected upload media. I found it on my computer. It's not going to be on this computer I'm on right now because I'm on my work laptop. But here's something I've previously uploaded, and now I can treat it like any other element. I can crop it. I can fade it. You know, really whatever I need to do. She's my old lady baby. So, you know, uploads are great, especially if you, maybe you're making an invitation or you're highlighting like a family reunion. You want to put a family photo up. This makes it really easy to do. And even easier, under elements, without doing a search, we have both frames, and this is going to be the last thing I show you today, frames and grids. Now, a frame is essentially a photo holder. We have lots of different options that they give us. I've selected show all, and this one's kind of fun. I've got the circle, but we also have just, normal, like a square. And this is how I can drop photos, I can drop elements, I can drop some of my uploads into these, because perhaps I want my kitty in the circle. So rather than having to try and crop or do any sort of thing like that, I can just put it right in the frame that I want. Or, maybe I want her in this kind of like lines of paint, I guess is maybe what that's supposed to look like, or in this square. And, you saw a flash of it. Technically, I could make her the background as well. Grids work the same way. Grids are frames that just happen to, be kind of in a set pattern. So they're multiple frames set up. Maybe I want to upload multiple photos. And this is, you should certainly build your own frame or your own grid based off of the frames that are already supplied to you. But this just makes it a little easier. And, let's grab one of the photos that they just have sitting around. Boom, move it over, and it rearranges it really easily for us. All right, so that is some tips and tricks for using Canva. If you want to see more or learn more about using Canva, let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to make more videos. But this is going to end our introduction to Canva tips and tricks. Thank you for joining me. You are welcome to reach out. My name is Katie. I work at the Worcester branch. If you have any Canva questions as you create your own projects, I'd be happy to answer questions. Thanks for joining me, and you all have a great day.